Raise your hands if you're still using the iPhone 13 Pro. Why am I still using the iPhone 13 Pro? I have a couple of reasons why. But before we start the video, go ahead and comment down below to see if I'm the only one or if you're still using the iPhone 13 Pro. There's actually 5 things that I kind of look into getting a new phone or an iPhone. And so I'm going to share those 5 things with you. So the 5 things are build, camera, features, performance, fluidity, and storage. Now, the honest truth is that for me, and I think I speak for everyone, there hasn't been any drastic changes to the build quality, the way it looks. So if I take an iPhone 13, 14, 15, 16, put them on the table, to somebody that really doesn't know about iPhones, or to the naked eye, if you're just glancing, you really don't know which one is which. The the 16, I believe, has bigger cameras and upgraded cameras, but as far as just looking at them on a table, you really don't know which one is which. I've kept my iPhone 13 Pro in a case for basically 90% of its life. I've taken it out of the case because my wife bought me a wallet that attaches to the back of my phone for my license and my credit cards. So that's the only reason why I don't have it in a case. I know there are cases that have that magnetic as well. So that's why I'm kind of rocking it naked right now. But because I've had it in a case, this thing looks new. Like if I really cleaned it up and I put it on a table, it looks like a brand new iPhone. And the build quality is really good on iPhone. So it doesn't matter what kind of iPhone you get and you keep it in the case, it's going to keep its quality. Other than the camera button, dynamic island, the 13, 14, 15, 16 are basically the same phones. So for the first category, like I said, I have 5. For the first category is camera. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I've seen footage from the 15, 16, the 14, and in a lot of cases, the 13 Pro seems to be right there with them, or even in some shots a little better. I don't know if you've seen shorts or reels on TikTok about them kind of putting camera A, B, and C, the 13, 14, 15, or the 14, 15, 16. And sometimes the older ones almost look a little better. I've seen reels where they have the 13 and the 16 side by side and they look identical. Plus, I have a Sony A7 III, which I often take pictures with, record video. So the camera isn't a huge upgrade for me. For some people, it might be, but for me, not a huge upgrade. Now, let's be completely honest. If you take a picture with a 13, 14, 15, 16, you really don't know the differences. You really don't. Some of the newer models have exposure a little bit different, a little bit less contrast, but all of that you can fix post. So it really doesn't matter. If you know what you're doing in Lightroom and if you edit photos, basically you can have the same image with a 13 or even a 12 or 11 and make it like the look like the new camera. So it's basically just software at the end of the day. Now with the newer phones, yes, there's a little bit more features like slow-mo, 4K cinematic, things like that. But like I said, for me, for my personal use, I have a camera, so to me, those aren't huge upgrades. Let's talk about the famous camera button, okay? I've seen a lot of mixed feelings about this camera button, and a lot of people saying that they actually don't use that button, and it's placed in a very weird, awkward place. Whenever you're holding your phone, right? You have your thumb close to the power button because obviously to turn it on. And your thumb naturally sits right either on it or right below it. And the camera button is slightly below that. So you kind of have to kind of like squirm your phone up a little bit so you can access that camera. And I know that the way Apple intended that button to be used, if you have your camera like this and then you want to, start recording or doing whatever. In my opinion, the buttons on the display is a lot faster, a lot more accurate, and I'm just so used to it that the camera button doesn't really matter. I think people till this day that have the 16 Pro are forcing themselves to use that button because it's there. It's that new feature. So I think a lot of people are kind of forcing themselves to use that button, but they really don't use that button altogether. Let me know if you have a 16 Pro. Let me know if you guys use that button. I'm really interested to see. Now let's move over to features. Now with the 16 Pro, the features were supposed to be Apple Intelligence, all of this new features. Still hasn't rolled out yet. They're rolling it out, piece by piece, but it's still not here yet. Like I said, there's not really anything special about it. So to me, features, there's nothing there. I will say though, the only feature as far as build quality that I really liked when I did upgrade for a few weeks is the dynamic island. I feel like that is a really nice feature. They really take advantage of whenever you're playing music, whenever your maps are going, just the little extra features that the island provides. I think I think it's worth it, but man, not $1,000, $1,500 worth to me at least. Let's talk about performance and fluidity, right? A lot of people have claimed that their iPhones do slow down with time. And the reason is MKBHD touched on this. The reason for this is because the battery gets weaker. And with the battery getting weaker, the processor is not going to demand as much. So, with that being said, it acts a little slower. Now, with the new iPhones, obviously there's new processors, there's new chips, right? We're at the A18 Pro chip on the new iPhones. And the only people that would really benefit from this is people that multitask, that do a lot of video editing, photo editing on their phone. And even with that, I was doing some editing on the 16 Pro in Lightroom, and my phone got hot within minutes. I was editing, I will say I was editing a lot of pictures. It was an engagement that I shot, and I was applying effects, and I was applying all of my edits to, I think it was around 50 to 70 photos. So I do understand why it would get hot, but at the same time, normal people that use their phone just to text, call, FaceTime, a new processor, they're not going to use the processor as it was intended for. So that's another reason why I don't really upgrade, because all of my video editing are either done on my Mac, and for simple edits, I use my phone. It does take a little bit time, and like I said, it gets warm and things like that, but I use my Mac, so there's no reason for me to really upgrade on that side. Opening and closing apps, 13, 14, 15, they're all the same. Like I said, it only really matters when you're doing a lot of heavy gaming, editing, things like that. So let's talk about the last thing, right? The storage. That's probably why I would end up switching to, if any, the 15. But if there's a nice deal going on for the 16 Pro, I might as well get it. That's the only thing that makes me want to upgrade, just the storage. Because yes, I can move my stuff into a SSD drive, but doing that every single day, it's a bit of a headache. I think offering 256 gigabytes of storage is diabolical. And for phones, 128 is more diabolical. Like, there are apps out there now that are coming out that require more storage, and 128 is literally only going to be taken up by all of the apps that you're going to download. So if I were you, I would skip the 128, go to 256, 512, but that's how Apple gets you. They get you to upgrade, more money, all of that. So that would be the only thing that would make me want to upgrade is the storage, because my iPhone is 128 and that is not enough. I have a daughter. I'm always snapping pictures, videos here and there, and anytime I want to do something else, I got to delete. I got to transfer. And it's like, dude, come on now. I know there's iCloud, but there's a lot of times where you might be, on a trip, you don't get the best connectivity, You want to the Wi-Fi isn't as good, things like that. So it's just a hassle. So if you want to get a new iPhone, get one with 256 or more. Oh, I almost forgot the other thing. There's two things: storage and USB Type C. Whenever I want to transfer anything from my camera and I want to edit on my phone, I have to transfer it to my computer, airdrop it from my computer to my phone. That's the only thing that I loved about the 16 Pro is the storage and the USB Type C. I could just hook up my camera to my phone and download my files. That's the only other thing. Yes, there are workarounds with the 13 where you can actually connect a USB like a dongle, but you have to have a power source, things like that. There's a workaround, but like I said, my phone it has only 128 gigs, and it's not it. With all that being said, are there reasons for me to upgrade? There's two reasons. Am I going to spend 1,000 or more on a new iPhone? I don't think so. It either has to break or I'm going to be forced. Somebody has to force me to upgrade. I know some people like to upgrade. There's nothing wrong with that. There's a lot of people that upgrade to their new phones every single year. There's nothing wrong with that. But for me, these were my reasons. This is why I'm still going to use my iPhone 13 Pro in 2025. Like I said, it's either going to have to break, somebody's going to have to force me, one of those two reasons, or channel blows up, need more storage, I need more everything for files here and there. But as for right now, I am going to go into 2025 with my iPhone 13 Pro. Let me know if you still have it. Let me know if you plan to upgrade, or let me know if you're going to keep it until it just dies off. Also, stay tuned for the giveaway at the end of January. Like I said, we're going to let everybody kind of, see the post, see the video, things like that. We reached that 1,500 subscribers. I want to give back, and stay tuned for the details for that. It's going to be either a phone with entries or something that will not cost anything, right? It's just gonna be free. The entry is gonna be like, a budget phone. It give you a couple of entries, $2-3 that you want to give. That'll get your name in the drawing. So I'm still trying to, I'm new at this. I don't know what I'm doing. So, but there's gonna be a giveaway. That's all I know. So stay tuned. Thank you guys for watching, for supporting, for staying here, and new videos coming soon. You better believe that. We'll see you guys in the next video.